Late in the evening, when the official meetings had ended and the grand rooms of the palace grew quiet, President Macron sat alone with his phone resting on the polished desk. Outside, Paris was calm, its lights reflecting softly on the river, but inside his mind the day was still alive with voices, promises, and unresolved questions. Public speeches were easy compared to this moment. Cameras, applause, and carefully chosen words belonged to the daytime. Night belonged to private messages, the short lines of text that could change the direction of a conversation, a relationship, or even history. Macron believed that leadership was not only about standing confidently in front of people. It was also about listening carefully when no one else was watching. Over the years, he had learned that a private message could sometimes do what a long speech could not. A few honest words, sent quietly, could build trust faster than weeks of formal negotiation. This was why he took these moments seriously, rereading each message before replying, thinking not just about what to say, but how it might be received on the other side. Earlier that day, he had spoken publicly about cooperation, unity, and shared values. The words sounded strong and hopeful, and the audience had responded well. Yet he knew that behind every public agreement were dozens of private conversations. Leaders smiled for the cameras, but real understanding often happened later, through messages exchanged late at night or early in the morning. In those messages, the tone was softer, more human, and sometimes uncertain. One message on his screen was from a fellow European leader. It was polite but cautious, expressing concern about an upcoming decision that could affect millions of people. Macron paused before responding. He understood the worry behind the words. This was not a message asking for power or praise, but for reassurance. He typed slowly, choosing language that was clear and calm. He acknowledged the concern, explained his position honestly, and ended with an invitation to continue the discussion. When he pressed send, he felt the familiar mix of relief and responsibility. Private messages had a strange power. They could strengthen friendships, but they could also cause damage if misunderstood or leaked. Macron was aware that in the modern world, no message was ever completely safe. A screenshot, a forwarded text, or a simple mistake could turn a private conversation into a public headline. This awareness made him careful, but it did not make him silent. He believed that fear should not replace communication. As he leaned back in his chair, he remembered a time early in his presidency when a private message had taught him an important lesson. He had written quickly, responding emotionally to criticism from another leader. The message was not rude, but it was sharper than necessary. The response he received was cold, and for weeks afterward, cooperation felt tense and forced. It took time and patience to repair the trust that had been weakened by a few careless sentences. Since then, he had promised himself to never underestimate the weight of written words.